Kisses her daddy goodbye, another scene from a trucker's life. 18 wheels roll down the road, now just mom and her. 2 weeks he'll return, bringing black-eyed Susans for his girl. Black-eyed Susans, home sweet home, back where he belongs. Susie's soul, driving on, working hard is what he knows. Black-eyed Susans along the road. Kisses her daddy goodbye, 2 weeks till graduation time, and baby girls grow up too soon. Closing the front screen door, she's hearing that diesel engine roar, and all these years he's been the same. Black-eyed Susans, home sweet home, back where he belongs. Susie's soul, driving on, working hard is what he knows. And black-eyed Susans along the road. Kisses her daddy goodbye. This day his child becomes a bride. Her love's waiting down the aisle. Just before it's time to go, he gives her what she's always known, a black-eyed Susan for the road. Black-eyed Susans, home sweet home, back where he belongs. Susie's soul, driving on, working hard is what he knows. And black-eyed Susans along the road. Black-eyed Susans along the road.
This next song is the one we won the competition with. We worked on it for months and months. The Harmony Award competition goes to duos, and then trios are above, so they break it up, and it's between youth and adult too in separate
Are
categories.
you sure it wasn't years and years?
No, we worked only months and months, but
Well,
it was tough
felt like
on you.
years and years.
But what we did is we took the third movement of the Grand Canyon Suite, Verdi Grofe's American classical piece for symphony from the 1930s, and the third movement is a very familiar melody, On the Trail, which inspired Dale Evans' first few notes of Happy Trails. The heart of the melody did this, and we did this song in honor of Dale, but also as difficult as we could put it together. So let's have fun with this. From On the Trail. This will be our last song for the duet, and then we'll have Kristen come up and do good stuff.
If I mess up, don't hit me or kick me.
I hope not. You gonna be stubborn like a mule?
Yeah. Hee-haw! 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 Mule!
He's the stubbornest mule I ever saw. He's tossing his head, he's raising on lead, he's getting me all of a twitter. That ornery critter, he goes
Hee-haw! Hee-haw!
He must have been born in Arkansas. Don't wanna be led, just wants to be fed. Why he make a fiddle play liberty, liberty, liberty goes
Hee-haw! Hee-haw, hee-haw.
He's hankering for a pitchfork, a straw.
His hoofbeats are beating and telling him soon to be eating his tail. Clippity-clopperty, clippity-clop, clippity-clopperty, clippity-clop, clippity-clopperty over the rim of the hill. We're on the trail. The sun is long, the canyon is wide. Hi-ee, hi-ee, hi-oh. We'll sing a song as we ride. We're on the trail. My mule and I, we haven't a care. Hi-ee, hi-oh. My heart is free as the air. Out on the old painted desert, I know a wonderful sight where we can build us a fire, where we can spend the night. The sun will rise, in the sky the stars will grow pale. Hi-ee, hi-ee, hi-ho, and we'll be back on the trail. We'll camp for the night in the desert, that ancient mysterious place. Echoes of time all around us. Who knows the trail they trace? We'll ride away along the trail that follows the sun, and hope someday to meet some wonderful one. I'll sleep tonight and dream of her, my wonderful one. On the trail, on the trail, on the trail, on the trail. Whoa, you!
Thank you.
Today I'm out here with my pal Danny Boy, and we have a message for you from the American Lung Association. If you don't smoke, don't start. And if you do smoke, find a way to stop. Now, we know that it's not easy, so check with your doctor. He'll be the first one who'll be glad to help show you the way. Now, for a better quality life and a longer life, stop smoking today. So, for me and Danny, to all of you, good luck, God bless, and here's hoping we see you at the Crossroads.
In here with one of my movie heroes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Cord. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir. We want. You've had a very interesting life, and did your life change when you were just a boy and you had polio, and you did things? How did that? How did it affect you?
It changed dramatically because I survived it. And a lot of kids did not.
Right.
When I had polio, it was the scourge of the planet. I was in the hospital for a long time, and I watched a bunch of kids die around me.
Yeah.
So I was very, very fortunate.
Well, I think God must have had a plan for you.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I like to think that.
Yeah, he had a plan for you,
Yeah.
you know. And that was wonderful.
I was very blessed.
Yes. And the one thing that impressed me when I was reading about your biography was about that you went off to do Shakespeare.
Yeah, we did a lot of Shakespeare.
Yeah. And what was the name of that company?
It was called the American Shakespeare Festival
Yes.
at Stratford, Connecticut.
Oh, wonderful.
And people like Katharine Hepburn played there.
Oh.
Robert Ryan. It was a
Oh.
very good place, yeah.
They couldn't get any good actors, could they? And, well, let me ask you, and then you went to England?
Yep, I did 4 plays in England. Yeah. In fact, one of the plays on the West End was called Play with a Tiger, and the London critics had their awards, and I have to brag a little bit. They had the awards for Best Actor, and the nominees were Christopher Plummer in Beckett, Albert Finney in Luther, and me in Play with a Tiger, and one of the other 4 nominees for that. That was a high point in my life.
Wow.
What an honor.
In London, England.
That was an honor.
That was cool. I
Yeah.
won't tell you who won it.
It doesn't, the
You're
fact,
supposed to have.
well, you know what? You know, they always say to be in that
Group
group.
company, that was very cool.
Yeah, just be in that group.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, let's talk about the film world just a little bit.
All right.
What was your first film?
Synanon. It was
Synanon.
about drug addicts in California.
Okay.
A place called Synanon House, a real place. And at that time, it was the most successful rehabilitation center in the country. And it was completely run by drug addicts.
Wow.
There was no one there in authority that was not an ex-drug addict. So it was so successful because the guys that came in there could not, I keep wanting to use the word, I keep wanting to curse.
Yeah.
They couldn't BS anybody about
Yeah,
what
there you
their
go.
problems
Yeah, right.
were
Because everybody
the guy
knew
they
it.
were talking to
Right.
Can't con the
had bigger
con.
Yeah,
problems
right.
than they did. It was extremely successful, really good movie. And one of my favorite actors, Edmund O'Brien,
Yes.
was in it.
Yes.
Eartha Kitt.
He did a movie, if you don't mind me saying this, he did a movie with a very good friend of mine, a fellow by the name of Tommy Sands. I don't know if you know Tommy. You know.
Tommy Sands?
Yes.
The singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did a movie called Sing Boy Sing.
Oh,
And he played Tommy Sands' manager. And Tommy's been a friend of mine since '65.
wow. Edmund O'Brien. He did a lot of Shakespeare.
Did he?
Yeah, he and I used to scream Shakespeare at each other on a balcony thing.
Oh,
There
wonderful.
was a house full of drug addicts. What this guy was doing here, man? They were
Wonderful,
insane.
wonderful. I wanted to talk to you personally. I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite films that you did, which was Stagecoach. And you played the John Wayne role.
Yeah.
Ringo, right?
The Ringo Kid.
The Ringo Kid. And I wanted to ask you, because I've come in the middle of a play, took over a play when someone else was doing it, and I was always seeing, they comparing you to this guy or that guy. Were you worried about comparisons to Mr. Wayne?
Oh, it was terrifying. You know, about not more than 3 or 4 weeks ago, you know how long ago that film was made?
Yes.
The New York Times did a whole 1-page article titled "The Man Who Dared to Fill John Wayne's Boots." And they've got my picture in there, and they make all the comparisons about the 2 movies and stuff. That was 3 or 4 weeks ago in the New York Times.
Wow.
Well, you worked with a lady that I met back in the 60s, Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
And I met Anne when she was here, and I was doing State Fair with Miss Pat Boone. And so I did not get to do that play. I mean, that movie. They wanted me for a part in the movie. I didn't get to do it because at the time I was doing the Zoo Story in the theater. So, but I did get, I was on the set with those guys. And she was so nice, so kind. Wonderful lady.
She was. When I worked with her, she was a child.
Yeah.
So was I. whippersnappers.
Yeah. And Bing Crosby?
He was great.
I know, he was wonderful as drunk.
I have a letter from him that he wrote to me after we finished the movie, and he had seen it, and it was very complimentary. And I'm not good at keeping things, stuff like that. And but he was my mother's biggest hero.
Oh, yeah?
And I got her to meet and have dinner with Bing. And when I showed her that letter, I said, here's a letter from Bing, and it was very complimentary. And I wanted her to see it, and I was going to then throw it away.
Yeah.
She said, give me.
Absolutely. That's
Took
a
it, and
mother's
she
pride
had
and
it
joy.
stuck on
wonderful.
what do they call it, permaplaquing it or something. On board.
Let's talk a little bit about Airwolf. Airwolf. Wonderful series.
That was fun.
How many episodes were made?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot.
I'm not good with numbers
Yeah.
like that, but it ran for, I think, almost 3 years,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
Very good show.
It was a great show.
Very good show. I love the patch.
Yeah.
The patch over the eye.
It's
And,
amazing.
you know, and can we talk a little bit about the book? We have to talk about your book.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Well, tell me the inspiration behind it, what the motivation.
It's real simple. I lost a young son. That part's hard for me to talk about. And I thought I'd never get over it. And it kind of paralyzed me for a long time. And then one day I woke up and I said, come on, I got to get over this, And I like to write. I've already had written a couple of books before. So I went in and sat down and started to write about him, just with no plan in mind at all, no plot or anything. I just, a stream of consciousness.
Yes.
But I wrote about 10 pages, and it felt good to be doing something. So the next day I got up and I read those 10 pages, and I continued. And I wrote another, I think almost 10 pages. And then about the third or fourth day, I realized that I could turn this into a story. And that's how it started. And the next thing I knew, I had 625 pages.
My
The writing
goodness.
took over.
Well,
Yeah,
it
the story just took over,
when
right.
I knew so many people in my life, and I started to write about them and stuff. The hard part was editing it. It took, I had to,
How many
Things you had
I
to
pages?
had to
cut
cut
out.
out 300 pages.
Oh, my
It's
God.
325.
And is this book out now?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay,
and the
great.
cover is done by Buck Taylor.
Buck Taylor, our buddy.
And
Yeah.
it has won a prize, a Glyph Award for Best Popular Fiction.
Wow.
And I'll brag a little more here. This is a quote from Harrison Ford on the cover. A quote from Sylvester Stallone, Ernest Borgnine.
Wow.
A great writer.
Yeah.
I'd love to have his talent. Is Thomas McGuane, and he says there are several vivid works. Can you read that? I can't see
He's
it.
got, let her put it on her glasses there.
That's from a great writer.
There are several vivid worlds depicted here, often in ironic contrast, and all part of a story that rolls along forcefully. An extremely
Readable.
story.
I
No
think I
small
know it
feat.
by heart.
Well, she-
Yeah,
she,
well, I can't hardly even see.
She's from Mesquite, so we
No, I
have to
can only
overlook.
see with my own glasses.
Anyway,
It's awesome.
it's a compliment from him.
Absolutely. What I think is pretty extraordinary about it is that being a parent who has lost a child and the healing aspect of this story, what do you see this doing, especially if it becomes a movie, to help other parents that have lost a child?
Well, the publisher called me not long after it was published and said that she had gotten a woman contacted her who was a professional grief counselor and was asking for permission to use parts of the book in her grief counseling. dance in the sessions. You know, I had no idea that.
But see, you've touched
You
so
know,
many
yeah, you
lives.
just don't know. You know, I was just
Yeah.
telling the story.
Yeah.
But apparently, a lot of people have been very impressed with the way the character deals with the grief that having lost his son.
And your
So
son's
that's really
name?
good. His name was Damien. Damien Zachary.
Oh, beautiful name.
And there was a wonderful actor called Zachary Scott who played a lot of villains in the 40s, 50s.
Yes.
And I knew him. He was a Texan.
Really? I didn't know he was from
Yeah.
Texas, yes.
And anyway, I named Zachary. It was after Zachary Scott.
So Damien is more than likely going to help so many other parents
Apparently, yeah. I've had
in
a
this
lot- I've gotten that-
situation.
I've gotten that reaction from a lot of people, yeah.
Oh, I think that's wonderful.
And it's available Amazon and just if on a computer you type in alexcord.net and it takes you right to the publisher's website.
Well, I'll tell you what,
That's wonderful.
I'm not trying to top your story, but you did a movie, a book, Feather in the, what is it called?
In the Rain.
In the Rain.
Yeah.
If my lovely assistant will walk over here, I did a film called Hero in the Rain, and I'd love to present that to you.
Thank you. All right.
Hope you enjoy it. It's just a local local Dallas independent film, but it's a good movie.
Well, I'll be delighted. I can't wait till you get home and put it on the machine.
There you go. Hope you
I have
enjoy
a
it.
couple of questions.
Thank you so much, sir. We're looking forward to meeting with your wife and talking about her book.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I'm Colin Ray. Within the next 30 seconds, at least 3 children will be physically or sexually abused. We must stop this national tragedy that robs our children of their innocence, their dignity, and often their lives. If you or someone you know are being abused, call Child Help USA National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD. Call is free and confidential 24 hours a day. 1-800-4A-CHILD. You can stop child abuse.
This is a song that, Janet got the idea for a song that was a Western swing song and also a yodel song. She said DJs never would play yodeling, but they'll always play the Western swing. So she had her idea and a verse written up and told me and Devin, help me write this swing song. And so the three of us came up with a song called Yodel Western Swing. Oh! She fell in love with Western swing. She was just a singing teen. And it was back in Grandpa's day. But she was learning how to play.
Wheels and cooling on the stage, and yodelers were all the rage. But no one had a clue. This little yodel too. Little yodel lady, show us what you got. Let us hear a yodel. Come on, give
I'm Jim, this is Pam.
That's
right.
right.
That's who we are. And you want to introduce this lovely lady?
Yes, we just had a great interview with her husband, Mr. Alex Cord, and this is his wife, Susanna Cord.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you so much. I heard some things about you. Uh-oh. Yes, I did. I have a very good friend of mine that knows a little about you. And she was telling me that you once lived in Africa.
I did. I was raised partly in Africa.
In Africa.
Yes, in Kenya and
And
Zimbabwe.
where were you born?
I was born in Denmark, but my father did third world aid work, and so we were posted to Africa, Kenya and Zimbabwe for extended
Really? How
periods of
interesting.
time. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I want to ask you a question. It's sort of personal. How did you meet Mr. Cole?
Well, he stalked me. So.
Did he?
I love this story.
Well,
He was sharing this earlier.
tell us how he stalked you. We want to know
Well,
about
I
this.
was in Los Angeles working for a horse trainer, a dressage trainer, which is what I do.
Yeah.
And it was at the Paddock Riding Club, which was straight across the street from the Saddle and Sirloin Club where Alex kept his horses. And so I would be walking horses back and forth all day long, and I had no idea that I was being spied on through binoculars, but I was. And one day this gentleman talks to me and says, you want to go for some rides? And I thought, well, why not? He looks like a nice guy, and that's where it started.
That's where it started.
And only later I found out he was stalking me, so it was a soft
Now, let me
blow.
ask you this. Now, see, like guys like me who love Westerns, we all know who your husband is,
Yeah.
right? We know him. But did you know who he was
I
when you met?
hadn't a clue, and I didn't believe him either. We went for these long rides in Griffith Park, and he told me all these stories, and I thought, God, he's so full of it, but he's really fun. But then after a few weeks, I started meeting his friends, and they said, hey, did you tell about the time we did? I said, what? And then I started to find out he wasn't lying. He was just
He was
somebody
really telling
really
he
lived
was.
life.
Yeah. He really did it, you know.
Yeah, he really
Yeah.
did.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's talk about this wonderful children's book, which what I understand is a children's book, but it's good for all ages.
Yes,
Even
it is.
Pam.
Even I, yeah.
Even Pam. Right.
I've had quite a few mothers and grandmothers buy it for their grandkids, and they come back and get one for themselves.
Wonderful.
Yes, and I've also been getting feedback from, and this I had no idea. It's sort of like Alex with his book with the grief counselors. This book, I get feedback from child therapists, counselors, people working with abused kids, kids with autism, and they're coming with this incredible feedback on how this book is affecting these kids. And that was just bonus for me. I had no
of
idea.
course.
I just came up with a story for my niece and kind of went from there.
Yeah. And so, how long has this book been out?
It's been out just over a year.
Just over a year? Yeah.
And it's selling well, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm going out and reading it to kids.
Yeah.
Is this also on Amazon? Like
Yes, it's on
Facebook?
Amazon, Borders, and of course the website, FenellaFairy.com. Yeah. And then the last 6 months, I've had the great pleasure of working with Dave Alexander. We've been recording it in the
Now,
studio.
we've heard of him.
Have you?
Yes, we have. And in fact, we've heard stories we can't tell. No, I'm kidding.
I want to hear. I need some dirt on this.
No,
guy.
actually, really, Ken Farmer was talking. They were talking about he did the music for a movie that he did.
He
Yeah.
does incredible music,
Yes.
and he has illustrated this book in music for me.
Yeah.
It's
Wonderful.
absolutely beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so the CD will be out soon.
So all you guys sort of help each other out here a little bit.
Yeah, we just happen to be almost neighbors. You know, it's very convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I didn't get to ask your husband this, so I'll ask you.
Sure.
What brought y'all to Texas?
Well, we wanted to get out of Los Angeles.
I did too.
Yeah, and we're both horse people.
Yeah.
And Alex had spent a lot of time in Texas in the past, has a lot of friends here.
Yeah.
And we just started looking, and then Alex's good friend Larry Mahan called us one day and said, I think I found your place, and we fell in love with it right off the
Yeah.
bat. So that was almost 8-9 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was just looking for a nice country lifestyle.
Yeah. It's wonderful. So
And
you're
you're still-
enjoying Texas?
Yeah, and you're still doing your horse
Oh,
training
absolutely.
here
Oh.
as well.
Yeah.
And if somebody wanted to get in contact with you concerning the horse training and that sort of thing,
You
is
go
there
to
a
my website.
You have a website for that?
SusannaCord.com or torchlighttraining.net.
Okay.
Same website.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Okay.
And your mom was also involved.
She was also a horsewoman.
Which has got you involved, and as we were talking about, like with your husband with having polio and so forth, there's a lot of people that don't know how therapeutic horses are for children that are having problems with walking and this type of thing. And I've known of some groups where they put these children on horses, and the rhythm of the horses helps to rehabilitate them to where they can walk and that type of thing.
Horses have an incredible healing ability, both physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and they're used extensively in all kinds of programs. And one of the things, the physical thing, is that the kids' balance improves because they have to be able to balance up there. The walking of the horse mimics the movement of a child walking, or a person walking in the hips, so that they get to strengthen and develop that. And then just being close to that warm, lovely animal has an incredible effect on kids with autism as well, and people with all kinds of problems.
And I think that's really interesting to know, because I think there's a lot of parents out there that may have a child that has problems like this, and they had no clue how healing a horse could be, and to be involved in a program like that. And is that something that a parent like that could contact you through your website to
Sure,
find
they'd be
more
welcome to,
about?
and I can direct them. I'm not involved with it on a personal level, but I know of places we've donated horses to some local centers like that.
Like
My
that.
mother was very involved with this end of horsemanship for a while. So it's
Because I know with myself, I have 2 horses, and we have a small place in Denton. And I know that whenever I'm having a bad day working with Pam, I can always go to the ranch and hang out with my horse, Danny Boy, and Becca.
And
And
pour
my
out
day
troubles.
is
And
okay.
it's all better now.
That's
We
right.
want to thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much
y'all
for having
taking
me.
time to
Thank
come
you.
visit with us.
much.
All right, and welcome back to Crossroads Live. My name is Jim Hoffmeyer, and I have the honor of sitting here with Mr. Alex Court, who I interviewed a couple of years back when he had out his, I believe, first book.
Well, it was actually my second published book.
Septon, all
Yeah.
right. And it was a story that you said that was inspired by the loss of a son.
That's true. Yeah, I did. I lost a young son, and it was a devastating experience. And I like to write, so I think he visited me one day in spirit form and inspired me to write this story.
Right.
A Feather in the Rain is the name of it. And as it turns out, it just recently has surfaced in Hollywood, and there's a lot of interest in it right now by 4 or 5 guys back there who are convinced, as I am and have been all along, that it should be a movie. Harrison Ford was one of the people who endorsed it. In fact, there's a quote on the cover of the book from Harrison. I've gotten some really good people that have loved it. Sylvester Stallone endorsed it, Ernie Borgnine, some great writers, Thomas McGuane wrote a wonderful comment about it. So now I'm writing the screenplay for it.
Wonderful.
Because these guys back in California need a screenplay. You know, nobody will read a book there unless you're, a #1 big-selling published author. So, but you need to have a screenplay. So I just started the screenplay about 3 weeks ago, and we're getting a nice little bit of background music here.
Wonderful music in the background.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's free, and they said that they need to have a screenplay. So I started about 3 weeks ago, and I'm more than halfway through it. So I'll have the whole screenplay for A Feather in the Rain finished in another 3 weeks at the most.
Well, how much difference is it for you to write from book form to screenplay form?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, Jim. It's very different First of all, as a novelist, you paint the pictures with words.
Yes.
In a screenplay, the camera is going to show what you describe in a novel. So you want to minimize description in a screenplay. You don't describe all the furniture or exactly what everybody's wearing.
Yeah.
Because the camera is going to show that. So you need to get right to the dialogue and the emotional stuff. And there's a very specific form. And first of all, a screenplay cannot be any longer than 120 pages. So if it's 120, if you write a screenplay and you've got 122 pages, you better go back and get rid of those 2 pages.
Really? Because they're going right by that.
They'll just, they start to get worried right away. As soon as they see that it's more than 120 pages, they don't want to mess with it. First of all, it smacks of amateurism. The
Okay.
professionals know, I'm sure that there are screenwriters who are extremely successful who could turn in a 135-page screenplay and somebody's going to read it because it's Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so he could probably turn in a 135-page screenplay. But if you're just a guy trying to get a movie made, it
Yeah.
better be 120 pages.
Now, do you
or
have to have
less.
like a special agent to go through to get the screenplay into the movie?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's what my
Yeah.
guys in California
Yeah.
are really interested in doing that. But to
Yeah.
write the screenplay, it's a very specific format.
Yeah.
And there are programs that you can buy that help you do that, make your job a little easier. In other words, if you have a character named Jesse, instead of having to type Jesse every time you're going to write Jesse's dialogue, you can do it with 1 or 2 keystrokes if you have the right program. Once you start,
yeah.
So you'll have your whole list of characters, and then with one click, you can go from the character's name to the dialogue, which is also separate columns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very specific.
So when you're writing characters, I don't know, maybe this is a premature question. When you're writing characters like that, do you write a scene or something that then you find out later it may not work on screen? Or do you know when you're writing it that it's going to work?
Well, I think if I think it takes a lot of confidence to write anything,
Right.
as well as ability. But you've got to believe in what you've created.
Yeah.
And believe that it's going to work. If you don't believe it's going to work,
The audience is not going to believe it. Right.
don't put it in there.
Well, that's what I've always said about what we do. If we're having fun doing what we're doing, the audience is going to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, I think that's true, yeah. Writing is a very difficult, complicated thing to try to talk about, I think. And it's I admire guys like Buck and Ken, who they work very well together.
Yeah.
And they've got a certain genre that they're very clever at. So they can turn out books. I mean, I'm in awe.
Because every time I look on Facebook, they have a new book
They
out.
have a new book out. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that, and I'm in awe of it. But for me, writing is extremely difficult.
I've always said that writing was rewriting.
Oh, it is. It is. That's everything. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Writing is rewriting. I write a first draft of a novel, might take me a year, then at least another 6 months to
Yeah.
rewrite it.
Wow.
Well, just polishing, you know. You want to get your thoughts and your feelings and your plot out there. Once you've got it all down, you've got the beginning, the middle, and the end, then you have to start again from the beginning and find anything that does not drive the story forward or develop a character deeper. You got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to fall in love with stuff that
Yeah.
you write, and very difficult to be harsh about cutting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of your children, you know. It becomes like one of your children.
It's just, you know,
Yeah.
even a line or something that you fall in love with, you know, and think, I got to cut
It
that
doesn't
out.
work.
It
Yeah.
doesn't- I don't need
It doesn't work. You know, I'll tell you what we're going to do. If it's okay, if you can stay a little bit longer, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back, and we're going to talk to him about his second book, the third book, I guess, that's coming out, and get the title and find out all about it and what was the inspiration behind it. And so we'll be right back on Crossroads Live.
I'm tired of the way you've been treating me. Yeah, I'm tired of trying to be what you want me to be. So if you don't like the life I lead, you know what to do. You know the way back to Texas. I hear Texas calling you. You know the way back to Texas, so get on down the road. I'm tired of pretending that I don't want you to go. Take the car and the money, girl, I will do just fine. Sooner you get back to Texas, sooner you'll be off my mind. I've tried and I've tried to be good to you, but I just can't seem to do the things you want me to do. So if you're not happy here, honey, there's the door. You know the way back to Texas, I can't stand it anymore. You know the way back to Texas, so get on down the road. I'm tired of pretending that I don't want you to go. Take the car and the money, girl, I will do just fine. Sooner you get back to Texas, sooner you'll be off my mind. Oh, take the car and the money, girl, I will do just fine. Sooner you get back to Texas, sooner you'll be off my mind. The sooner you get back to Texas, sooner you'll be off my mind. Oh, come on back. I didn't mean it, darling.
welcome back to Crossroads Live. I have the honor of sitting here with one of my favorite actors, now writers, Alex Cord. And before we get into talking about the book, we talked about this before, but I just want to touch on it a little bit because there's a lot of people out there that may not know the story of you and the Duke. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you did this wonderful movie, which I thought you did a great job in the movie. It's the Ringo Kid, is that his name?
That's it.
It was the Ringo Kid. And the name of the movie was Stagecoach.
Stagecoach, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty disconcerting thing, excuse me, to be asked to fill John Wayne's boots. But wanting to be a cowboy all my life, who could turn down the opportunity?
Oh, that was a great offer.
I thought about it, you know. In fact, there have been several articles written about it, and one of them said Alex Cord had to be the bravest man in Hollywood at the time. And it's a good point.
Yeah.
Because the original is a great movie. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And I'm in awe of it, and I love the Duke. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him. His son Patrick is a good friend.
Yeah.
But I never got to meet the Duke. But I just recently saw the original Stagecoach. And
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, just recently. I mean, literally less than 10 days ago. It was on the Western Channel. No, it was on Turner Classic Movies. And by God, it is a wonderful movie.
It is a wonderful movie.
God, and he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no mystery about John Wayne, why he became a star.
Yeah.
You know, all you had to do is look at him in that movie. He had it all.
But can I share my John Wayne story with you?
Sure.
I never met him, but I saw him once in person. Okay, my friend George Ty lives over here in Garland, Texas. He was trying to get someone to go with him to the premiere of The War Wagon. Couldn't find anybody. Nobody wanted to go.
Kirk was in that, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
So they had the whole cast except Kirk. Almost said Russell, Kirk Douglas, and so they had everybody there, and I was never really a big John Wayne fan. You know, I was more into Steve McQueen and those guys. You know, and so we went down, and all the actors came out and they interviewed everybody on stage, and it was very nice. And when John Wayne walked out, I think I was the first person standing. I was so impressed by being in the same room with John Wayne. You know, like I said, I didn't get to meet him. I was in the audience, but it was a great memory for me.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I got to see Steve McQueen in the same place, the Majestic Theater downtown. You know,
I have had a similar experience. My favorite movie star of all time was Gary Cooper. And I never got to meet him or work with him. But one day I was at the Brown Derby in Hollywood having lunch with an agent, and in walked Gary Cooper.
Oh, my God.
And I just could not believe it. There he was,
Yeah.
the real man.
So they're
He
bigger
was
than
so
life to
tall
you, yeah.
and wonderful, and I can remember everything he was wearing. He had on, in California, a woolen tweed suit, and the pants were baggy, but the jacket was buttoned, and he had on a knitted tie, and just looking fantastic. But so I know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
about.
yeah. It was you get to see your heroes, and see, I didn't even know that John Wayne was a hero of mine. I liked his movies, you know, and it was just you know. But when I saw him in person, I don't think I ever missed another film, you know. So.
You know, I actually got to work with one of my heroes, was Kirk Douglas. I played his brother in a wonderful movie called The Brotherhood. It was about the mafia, and it was directed by Martin Ritt, Academy Award-winning director. Yeah. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, getting to work with your heroes.
They're telling me I got a couple of minutes, so I got to talk about the new book.
Days of the Harbinger. and it's a fantastic book. It was published actually by Ken and Buck Stanky. They have a publishing company called Timber Creek. They published it. It's a fantastic story because it's about a man who wants to acquire the power to change the way the entire world thinks. He becomes more powerful than the President of the United States, and he actually achieves it. That's what the book is about. A man wanting to change the way the world thinks, and he does it through some miracle.
Yeah, wow. That
It's
is
pretty
terrific.
neat. Days of the Harbinger.
Now that book is
It's
available.
out now, and it's available on Amazon. All you have to do is go to Amazon Books, type in Alex Cord, and it'll come right up in your face.
So folks, go out and buy that book. I think you're going to really enjoy it. You're going to put another buck in Buck Stanky's pocket. There you go.
Days of the Harbinger.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Cord. I appreciate it so much for your time.
Okay.
And tell your lovely wife we said hello.
I will do that.
I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Cord.
Bill, what are you doing?
Just thinking.
What are you thinking?
You know what's wrong with guys like us?
No, what?
We were born 100 years too late.
I wish I'd been a cowboy back in 1892, riding and a-roping, wearing spurs upon my boots. I'd ride the range, herd the cows, but partner, it's my fate, 'cause I was born 100 years too late. 100 years too late, Lord, 100 years too late. Would have been a cowboy then, that would have been just great. Punching cows with my old horse, giving my old rope a toss. Yep, I was born 100 years too late. Dream that I'm a cowboy when I'm riding in my truck, singing with the radio along with Clint and Buck. I'd bust the broncs, rope the strays, be happy all my days. But I was born 100 years too late. I guess I must be happy with a regular job for me, working days from 9 to 5 to feed my family. Now I must be contented with the dreams of a cowboy ways, 'cause I was born 100 years too late. 100 years too late, Lord, 100 years too late. Would have been a cowboy then, that would have been just great. Punching cows with my old horse, giving my old rope a toss. Yep, I was born 100 years too late. I was born 100 years too late.
Bill, it's time to go.
Yep, you're right.
When I'm riding in my truck, singing with the radio, along with the
Load up. Load up.
rope the strays, be happy all my days. But I was born 100 years too late.
All right, very good job. We're going to invite Shirley Hayes up here to teach you how to do this right, Billy.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I got to tell everybody, and I don't know if I told Shirley this or not, but I was driving down the road one day, and I heard this song, Hero in the Rain, and I fell in love with the song. And I called Billy Jack up, and I said, who is that great voice I'm hearing? He said, I know you're not talking about me. Anyway, Shirley, it's an honor to have y'all here. And Hero in the Rain, one of my favorite songs.
Thank you.
You think you owe for all these years of happiness. My love has been the reason all those pretty flowers grow.
I can't take credit. I just stood in the shadows when love was being battered. You refused to let it go. I don't know the times you were the first to say I'm sorry and came to me with all your love and eased the pain. You didn't mind telling the one that hurt you I love you. Each time you rescued me and were the hero in the rain.
You think my smile made a rainbow over trouble. I gave tomorrow strength while you were holding my hand.
But when I was weak, about to be shattered, I became strong, just hearing how you needed me again. Don't know the times you were the first to say I'm sorry and came to me with all your love and eased the pain. You didn't mind telling the one that hurt you I love you. Each time you rescued me and were the hero in the rain. You were the hero in the rain.
So, till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go then.